Dr. Jesse Willingham with Brighter Outlook Vision wants you to look at your vision through different lens. Today, I talk one-on-one with the doctor about what he's seeing with his patients when it comes to the eye for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook.
Dr. Jesse Willingham, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
All right, glad to be back.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you are a residency-trained developmental optometrist. And obviously at your business, the Brighter Vision Outlook, and you have an in-depth approach that goes far beyond a basic 20/20 track, uncovering whether vision challenges are holding people back and actually crafting personalized solutions to help them thrive. So tell me, what's new, what's now at Brighter Outlook?
Okay, so probably our newest thing right now is we are offering a brand new FDA product to patients called the Stellus lens. This is part of our myopia management programs that we do for children who are nearsighted, who are progressively becoming more and more nearsighted over time. Now, we don't offer this as just an optical product like you're going in and buying glasses. It's just one option in our treatment programs that we do customize for patients, making sure that they're getting both the best evidence-based but personal treatment for them for slowing down that myopia progression, which is especially important going into winter months because we know that being outside and having sunlight is protective against that, and we see increases in myopia coming into these winter months.
Wow. So how many of these patients have already enrolled in this particular program, Doc?
Oh, for our myopia management patient, this year we've probably got about 10 patients enrolled, but for the Stellus lens, we're still waiting on our first patient. It just got its FDA approval at the very end of last month.
Wow. And you mentioned earlier, Doc, about obviously heading into the winter. We're in fall right now. So what are those trends that you and your team are looking at right now?
Yeah, so we are looking at all of the consequences of being indoors too much, right? And so at this point, people tend to start to notice they have issues driving at night because the sunset is going down sooner. Children might start be complaining, or adults might start complaining of headaches more often, and we're inside more often, and then we're going to be spending much more time on screens, typically as a consequence of that, and that causes a lot of visual fatigue, so it's something we have to watch out for. And kind of on a totally separate note, not something we deal with a lot at our office, but just like colds and flus and things increase in the winter month from being indoors and in contact more, things like pink eye do. So it's really important to make sure we're washing our hands.
My absolutely. And what are those other fatigue symptoms that you see mostly during the fall?
Yeah, so the two biggest things for adults, oftentimes it's really difficulty driving at night. So with that, if you spend all day long looking at a computer, that's a really specific things your eyes are going to do, and they're going to get tight. Just if you spent all 8 hours of the day curled up in a ball on a couch, you're not going to jump up and go run a marathon. Same thing, those eyes need an adjustment to get to the distance. So if you're much more flexible with your eyes during the day, making sure your computer screen's not too close to you, and then also giving yourself little breaks. The 20/20 rule is a really good rule of thumb for saying every 20 minutes of screen time, I'm going to give myself a break to look 20 minutes away, and you might just feel a little bit better function. For kids, looking for them to be really, really exhausted in the morning means that they're probably spending too much time on screens at night. Our eyes are light detectors, and that helps set our circadian rhythm inside our body. And all that brightness that can come from a phone or a video game right before bed is telling our brain to be awake. And that can lead to poor sleep at night, restlessness during the day, and reduced performance. And then it can also just lead to eye fatigue during the day too, because even though it doesn't feel like it takes a lot of energy to do things like video games, it really does. It's just fun, and so we ignore it.
Wow. I'm very guilty of unfortunately staying up overnight and watching television and being on the phone, and as a result, in the mornings I'm
Oh.
at fatigue. So yeah, it's amazing. This information is coming out. What are you seeing with the kids right now as they're transitioning from summer to fall to now coming up in winter?
Transitioning now, this is just a big part of school. They're usually more than halfway through their semester now. They're getting report cards back for halfway through. So even not seasonally, but just kind of thinking of the academic calendar, we're starting to now uncover, some students did great in whatever grade they were in last year, but they might be falling behind in school at this time. And we want to get ahead of that if they haven't had their eyes checked, especially by a developmental optometrist, someone who does a full check to not just look and see, are they seeing 20/20 to make sure they can see the board clearly at a distance, but are their eyes tracking and focusing and working together properly to give them clear and efficient vision whenever they're reading and taking notes too, because we know these things can get in the way. And it can be the cause of why they're falling behind in classroom.
Whoa. And Doc, when you look back to the summer to right now, what are those emerging trends that you saw then that are coming up right now with the kids?
Emerging trends from summer. You know what? I try to be in touch with just the cultural things with kids too, right? And there's always something new coming out. The Switch 2 launched this year, and it's amazed me how many kids have already upgraded and have this video game platform. It is really kind of a neat thing because, 20 years ago, too much TV time was terrible for your eyes. We didn't think about it. But now we have all these handheld electronics, and I would actually tell a kid, it's great that you want to play that Switch, but if you got a chance, it's better to play it docked and on the TV than it is to hold it in your hands and play it, because that's a more relaxed, less energetic position that your eyes have to be in. So, the trends toward, more video games and things like that with newer stuff coming out is always going to be the thing. But there are also trends with people today wanting to go into more analog type devices. Traditional watch sales are actually starting to creep back up and smartwatch sales are going down, which is good. This is showing that younger people are trending toward simpler things and maybe less screen time, that we've had a big reaction over the last year or few years of all these increased virtual days and screen time and computer use and things like that. And people are starting to back away for it, which is probably for the best for our visual health and sometimes our mental health too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what are those other tips that you have for people when it comes to their visual health going into winter?
Yep. Going into winter, number one, making sure you're getting the sunlight while you can. Getting early morning sun is really, really great for our mood, our circadian rhythm, and those help our health overall, right? So getting that sunlight early in the day while you can to get things going on. Making sure that when we're spending all this extra time indoors, that we're not just spending it on a screen all day long. And for the times that we do need to be on a screen, make sure it's ergonomic. It should be for handheld devices at least elbow distance away from your face, right? And a computer screen maybe about arm's length. And we don't want it up in our gaze. It's much more efficient to be looking kind of straight ahead or downward whenever we're doing up close kind of tasks. And just to make sure we don't abuse our eyes, right? Give them little breaks. They get to rest whenever we look far away and give them more chances to do that.
Absolutely. And Doc, if a parent wants to bring their kid to get examined at your office, or an adult wants to come and get an examination, how can they go about that?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is just call our office. We have a unique process, so we really like to have a long conversation with people at the beginning to really just get to know them and let them get to know us on the phone. All right, so you can call us. Our local number is 843-203-0200, or visit our website for more information. That's www.brighteroutlookvision.com.
That is amazing. Well, Dr. Jesse Willingham with the Brighter Outlook Vision, thank you so much for your time again. Welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, Quintin. Always a pleasure.
Likewise.